Hello, everyone. It's time for another Drop Frames. Zeke this week is on assignment, as they say. He's currently in California somewhere, wandering the streets, looking for, I don't know. Who knows? I guess we'll ask him next time he's on the show. Probably next week.
I know what he's doing.
Wheat knows what he's doing. I don't know what that means. Do you want to tell us what he's doing?
I know what he's doing.
I'll put you in the spot.
Or should we say, can you tell us?
Can you tell us what he's doing?
So a few years ago.
Okay, story time.
Jericho will know this. Wow, there's a connection here. A few years ago.
Is there?
We decided to do this thing at E3. In addition to like what we normally did at E3. And that was the pre-show.
Oh.
And last year we didn't get a chance to do it for a lot of reasons, but it just might be that there are some individuals that happen to be working on.
Where the fuck is my invite?
Wow.
Was I not good enough the last time? The hour.
Now you've done him fucked up.
Hey, bro. Hey, guess what? I'm not the director of Twitch Studios anymore. So actually,
oh my God, he's even passing the buck. Wow.
You're not even the
DJ. I like how that started. It's like, yeah, Jericho might remember this.
Wow.
He wasn't invited this time.
Wow.
Actually,
wow.
I said that because, to be honest, I thought Jericho, you were perfect for that show, frankly. But I mean,
wow.
Sonic
It was
segment
really
still
good.
one of my favorites.
Lay it on.
Jesus.
Anyway,
yeah. Anyway, Cohh, what episode are we on?
Today's 11/5/55.
11/5/55. Thank you for joining us for the past 11,000 shows, everyone. Glad to have you here. It's taken this long, but it's time to finally settle this. We've had this rivalry between the two Cohhs for 11,000 episodes, years in the making, and it's never really been challenged. This whole idea of better Cohh. We've just assumed that Jericho is better Cohh. It is a
It is true.
dawn name. So,
To be fair, I did too.
it's true. Yeah, I mean, we all did. But now that they're on the same show for the first time ever, we've decided it's time. And we can only think of one way to do this, and that's with Wheat's going to shoutcast this. Yes.
Oh, was I not?
And we're also going to play Mortal Kombat.
Oh, we're not doing the music?
Well, that's not
Okay.
Mortal Kombat. This is Mortal Kombat. Here we go. Okay. You guys got to get in the lobby. I don't know why you both left. Let me bring some volume up here.
You couldn't hear us. It froze.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
okay.
totally
froze.
crashed on both me and Jericho.
Gotcha. Okay.
They have
Well,
to
then
reinvite
let's
us.
do this. Let's do this.
We preface this by saying that Cohh and I have both played the exact same amount on the exact same story difficulty.
We're literally the same
and then
level.
Okay.
Never touched it again. So
Not a problem. We'll get you guys in the lobby. There's better Cohh.
which translates
aka
to
Jericho.
expect Evo level play here. You know, this might as well be a prelude to what we will see at the Evo finals.
I would agree.
What
yeah.
you are about to watch is two fencers going at it in a duel, and neither of them knows how to sword fight.
Not true. I know how to sword fight really well. My dad taught me.
Uh-oh. Already
Well, I'm
talking.
screwed then.
Already talking the shit. Yeah, you might be screwed. You might be
Okay.
screwed. All right, we're waiting on on
I'm coming in.
OG Cohh. What do we? If there's better Cohh, what is?
Oh, is that
Cohh
is
then?
that what I'm like? OG?
Is he OG Cohh? I don't know. Wheat, what's your ruling here? Is the father of
OG?
esports, Wheat? You get to make the ruling here. What?
Wait, who is who?
If Jericho is better Cohh, what is Cohh Carnage? Is he OG Cohh?
Sure.
Is he Koji? What about
He's Cohh G.
Koji is pretty good.
Koji.
Koji
That's a
chat
good
as
one.
always is correct.
Damn.
Done.
JP with 2 in a row. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Done.
Koji.
Koji.
We also would have accepted the Cohh or best Cohh.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we're waiting on Koji to get loaded into the game right now. This is just classic esports. Delays and okay, the match. Oh shit. Wheat.
Look at.
Oh my god. I see starting match.
Should we?
Ready.
Are you ready?
Uh-oh.
Wheat?
I just
I
got
really
in.
just chucked you into this
Yes,
shit, huh?
I'm
Yeah,
in.
we're just going into it. Here
It
we
worked.
go. Okay.
Oh god.
All right.
Oh god. I
Better
don't even
than
have
some
sound.
actual.
I don't have sound either. What happened to my sound?
How do you
I
not have
muted it.
sound?
I'm an idiot.
You muted
Sorry, I
it.
muted it. On my side.
I realized that my
variation.
sound, like
Wait a
most
second.
PC games, is at like 3,000% right now. So
Yeah.
if I
Wait,
yell,
these
that's why.
changed my moves? Oh god.
What do you mean they changed your moves?
I don't know.
Who's-
I'm
Is
I
it the
get to choo- I get to
educational
choose
part,
I get to
JP?
choose the stage.
Is this the educational
Black
part? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you know, like them how I get to change my moves. I think they're trying to suppress their actual skills here to one another.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Wait, can you actually wait? I need to have my combo list on the screen, or else I can't.
Look,
combo.
they're both level 13.
Uh-oh.
That means
All
they
right.
played a shitload.
Now, as ruling, as we have not talked about at all, this is a best of 3 series here. So, you have to win 3, not rounds, but matches. So this is the first match.
Okay.
Wheat, take it away with your amazing shoutcasting. Here we go.
Oh shit! I get the shoutcast.
Yeah, he's kicking and punching him.
Let me figure out who's who. Okay, wait. Who's Jax? Who's Jax's son?
Hey, I'm Jax.
Okay, so the
But
cameras
you're-
are reversed.
Okay, Jericho's
Classic
Jax's
esports.
son. Cohh is this other guy. I'm not sure who this guy
That's
is.
Liu
I think
Kang,
he's
man,
new to
what?
the series. What? That's Liu Kang?
That's Liu Kang.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Holy shit. It's
Hello?
zombie Liu Kang with the bicycle kicks into the corner. We actually have a match. Oh my god. Back two molars and a front incisor is out of there, and Liu Kang will take the first match.
What's the point of
We've
even
got
trying to do a
Cohh
combo?
Carnage. Unbelievable.
Cohh's already up 1
Cohh
round.
Carnage. Oh my god, he loses a few teeth. The Tooth Fairy's gonna be fucking happy tonight.
I'm trying to
A lot
block.
of jumping
Stop it!
kicks. I see a lot of uppercuts, which is pretty common here.
Bruh, this is
In
free.
Mortal
Up there in the
Kombat.
other room.
This is so
Wait, who's
free.
Liu Kang again? Cohh, right?
I think I am.
Yes, yes.
Bruh.
OG Cohh. Koji is Liu Kang.
Koji. Okay,
Yeah.
Koji. Although, oh my god, can he do a fatality? Like, forward, down, A.
Oh my god.
What the
How do
Oh
you
my
block?
God.
I can't. I don't even remember how to put it in control.
All right, Cohh is up 1-0 in this
What?
intense battle
Ah.
of the Cohs here on Drop Frames, episode 11,000 and
Is
change.
down block or is
No, there's
what
a
is block?
guaranteed there's a dedicated block button.
How do I do this?
There's a guaranteed block button. You got to press the
Wait,
block
I
Oh,
button.
can pay
it's
respect?
RT. If you hold RT, that blocks. Yeah.
All right, you're fucked
Thank-
now, Cohh. Now I
Are
now I
you?
know.
Wait. Is this the part, Jericho, where you're like, let's put money on it?
No, absolutely not. It's the part
After
where I
Cohh
remove
is
my
up?
where I remove my
Come on,
my-
not
my
even
weight.
$5.
Uh-oh.
How
I'll give you
about like
one
a
gifted
$12
sub.
donation to St. Jude?
One
Bet over
gifted sub.
I will bet you one gifted sub. I will do this.
Times
Uh-oh.
are tough out here.
That's what I'm
I'm
talking
sorry.
Money
about.
is on the line, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And one gifted sub.
Let's go.
Ooh.
okay.
One gifted
All
sub to slash itmeJP. What a bet. What a bet.
Are we changing
Everyone wins
characters
here. No,
No?
still same characters. Still
Wait,
same.
a
All right,
tick?
zombie Liu Kang
Yeah.
I appreciate your humility.
It's Zombie Liu Kang
and
versus
Jax.
Don't worry.
Jax's
I'm ready
son, I
to block
think.
now.
Okay, Coh's up 1-0. This is
All right,
game
Cohh's
point.
up. This is game point for Cohh right now. God, instantly with the teeth, it hurts to watch. And Cohh just has exactly, what he needs here. There's some blocks though from Jericho. Finally able to get in. Needed to block that one, however.
Combo.
Getting hit with the second time he's gotten hit with that combo. That was another great low block from Cohh, but he doesn't know how to punch or kick. So he's got the blocking part down. Cohh Carnage coming in. There's a nice aerial attack. There you go. 1, 2, 3. There's a block. No! Jericho cannot put together a string of hits to save his life. And the throw, will that end it? No. Not quite. Yes.
God,
Yeah,
I
it
hate
does.
this
That was
game
weird.
so much.
He took
That
damage
was
from the
weird. 'Cause It's
ground.
like critical. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, that's weird. All right, this could be game round right here. Jericho just trying to avoid the fast, swift kicks of zombie Liu Kang.
Is this going to be a sweep? Is this going to be a
Oh,
4-0?
it's a
I'm not
sweep.
even gonna
It's
fucking
a-
take a
it's a sweep.
set off of him.
But
I'm
if there's
sorry,
no
my name's on the
fatality, I don't
line.
know that we have a
Oh
team
my
here. But
god,
the
his
heck-
head.
Wait, how am I supposed to play Mortal Kombat on a fucking controller?
Wow. That was the
Oh,
easiest
wow.
4-0.
Oh, this game sucks, man.
That was the easiest
Wow.
4-0. That's it. It's
He
over.
turned down all the other
Wow.
good 1v1s. He said no on Call of Duty. He said no to Doki Doki
Pay your
Literature
respects.
Club.
Wait, can you go
I'm
back
not
to the
paying
screen
shit for
real
respect.
quick?
How do I do this?
There's no F. There was no F
I'd
that I
actually
could
just craft.
do
No
for you,
F.
I
Jericho.
hope that was
It
it.
was not.
Yeah, it just says
See
the
you in
opponent's
Smash,
left game.
bro. I hate
All right,
traditional
so
fighting games.
as the winner,
What?
I'll give you 2 weeks to change your name.
Uh-oh.
And at that point, I think we could probably step in and help me out.
Oh man, I don't know, man. Do you have a trademark on yours? Because
I do, and I'm about to have one on yours too.
Wait, we didn't play for pink slips. Hold on.
We played for names.
We didn't play for
Yeah.
pink slips. We played for a gifted sub.
I mean, I could take your car if that works. Instead, if you want to keep your name.
It's leased. I'm sorry, I don't own it.
Wow.
There's not a lot
Wow.
to my name right now, so
Wow. A 4-0. I did
That was
not
fun.
expect it.
That was
did
fun.
not expect
I'm
Very
glad.
excited.
I
I
am
was-
so glad that I paid $60 for that. That last night, JP's like, hold on, I think it's Zach. Like, by the way, get MK11 for tomorrow's show, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So I fucking wake up this morning. I open up Steam. I'm like, all right, I mean, well, whatever. Like for the kids, man, $60,
refund it.
and that's what dude,
Just refund it.
NetherRealm.
It's a traditional
Can I
pay-per-view
refund
fight.
it?
You could refund
Yeah,
it, I
feel-
think.
No, man, I'm
You know
not
what,
that guy.
Real talk.
This is like-
the Mortal Kombat 11 is pretty awesome.
It
Like,
is a
playing
good
the
game.
story-
I mean,
If you haven't
honestly,
done it,
dude,
it's worth it.
if I will happily give my $60 just because I heard all of the crazy crunch time shit that happened with that game. So like, if that makes someone's game development life a little bit better, than best $60 I ever. Well,
Spoiler,
not quite,
it will
but
not.
Probably
It will
not the
not.
best $60. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
Did
Story mode
the
was
Oh,
fun.
and
I
for
did
those in
enjoy
chat
it. I
saying
did
that it's a
enjoy
good
it.
game for mini wheat. Have you seen Mortal Kombat?
I would
It's
think
like-
Mini
it's
Wheat's
like-
seen
probably
worse.
love
Surgeon Simulator.
He probably
Yeah.
He's probably seen one.
Did we have to we have to go full circle here? Did the gifted sub happen? Are we paid up?
No, I haven't. I was just gonna.
Well,
do
we
it when
can't continue the
off-screen.
show until the gifted sub
holding the
occurs.
show hostage.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't wanna
holding it
do this
hostage
shit no
here.
more.
We can't move on from
Listen,
this segment
delete the VOD,
until this is over.
and then okay, fine.
No, we'll
Where's
just
the-
sit here.
How do you
and wait.
gift?
How do you
how do you
gift
gift subs?
subs? Click on where.
Trying to
Are
do it
you?
right now?
Here's where we
How
get
you
to
doing
find
it?
out if Jericho's even subbed to Cohh.
Oh, I'm absolutely not. I sub. You think you guys all make enough money without my $5? I hate this friendship. What is this like friendship? You got to be subbed to your friends. Fuck you. I'll buy you a drink once. Like you don't need my undying $5. Okay, there's your gifted sub.
Okay.
All right.
Congratulations to Red Drickle on
Oh, I
joining
should
the
have gifted
coalition.
it to. I should have just subbed.
You could have.
No, I did say gifted.
You
sub,
could.
You're right.
Do you have
I did
Twitch
say
Prime?
I think you should
what?
fix that
You know what,
mistake.
Jericho? For being such a
You
good
should do it.
sport, I'll gift you a sub myself.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Wow, man.
Wow.
Art
Spirit
of
of
the deal. Art of the
competition.
deal, boys.
Just
Esports
amazing.
has a
deal.
lot to learn from this moment right here. You
Art
know.
of the deal.
Yeah. They really
Wow.
do. They really
Wow.
Uh,
do. They really
It's the
do.
least I can do for inferior co.
It's very true. He's no longer
Yeah.
the name that we used before
I just
this.
feel so weird. I just feel so weird that we based it off of Mortal Kombat. I'm upset, is what's happening.
Dude, I know. The first thing I said
I'm so
when we were
mad.
talking about this, I was like, does he have Mordhau?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I'm not playing this like medieval hack and slash. I've never played any
So
of that
in the
stuff.
spirit of the show, in the spirit of King Shit, the reason we didn't use Mordhau is because I don't own Mordhau. So we had to go with the game that I own and possess for,
We should have done like Gang Beasts.
Look,
Oh,
I'm
snap.
if we're gonna
Hey,
rematch,
Justin,
we can do this at a later date.
I was going to say, this was step one of potentially a string of competitions as you come on the show. So every time you come on the show, we can add and pick a different game.
It's
And we
the
can just
title.
we can keep fighting over this name.
Look,
That's true.
look, you're right. We'll take a page from like the YouTube boxing fight. We'll just start hyping it up. Pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Here,
Oh,
three
that's
subs
that's
only.
smart.
A nine week series. Yeah. And
Yeah,
just
that's
different
smart.
game. So then
Best of
Jericho
9.
can't complain. Yeah.
That's very smart. That's
Oh, I
very
won't.
smart.
But for the ratings, I'm gonna go down 4-0.
And then
we'll
you're,
just
okay.
bring it back.
I like
Okay.
how you think.
That's smart. I like it.
Then it's best of 11.
Oof.
Okay.
We're just it's
Really
getting-
milking these views.
Yeah.
Are we gonna talk video games? Can we stop talking about? How
Sure,
I
let's
lost?
talk
Let's
video
talk-
games. Let's start with the latest and greatest, Jericho.
What?
You want to talk Slipgate? Did anyone else play Slipgate besides me and Jericho? Is it Slip?
Oh,
is that
hell
the
yeah.
name?
Splitgate.
Splitgate. Why do I say? I don't even know why I said it the other way.
I've
It's a
done
game?
the same thing, dude.
Yeah,
Splitgate. Arena.
Splitgate. So Splitgate is a love letter to Halo people. That's all it is. It's a Halo game with portals on the PC. I played the open beta of it. I think Jericho, you played more closed beta than open, right?
Yeah, I played a couple hours on the open beta. Everybody's really good in the open beta now. Word got out. Yeah, it's a really fun game made by a smaller group of like passionate Halo fans, and you can tell because like some of the maps are just straight out of Halo. The gunplay, like all the weapons, the pickup spawn, it feels really good, and it's definitely gonna hold me over as like a Halo fan till we get Master Chief Collection on PC. But you know, all things aside, it is a smaller group. It's it's really competitive now. It's an arena shooter. It's fast paced, so like you get a bunch of really really good players, and it cannot be fun if you're getting tossed around. But really cool game. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, this menu right here is the main menu of the game, and it just oozes free to play with like not that much money
Jesus,
behind
yeah.
it. Like it's
Oh,
it's
I
pretty
love
bare
the,
bones in this
Love
menu.
the character model.
Yeah, and the character model's not that great. This
Danny
so
DeVito.
yeah, the open beta is already down, right? It's no longer available.
Is it? It goes free to. It's free to play.
But it's free to play.
It was not going to be free to play. It was going to be $30.
Whoa! I'm
and
glad they
then-
marked it down.
And then I
to zero.
I talked to the devs, and I was like, nobody's gonna fucking buy this. I'm sorry, but so May 22nd it comes out and it's free to play.
Okay. Yeah. It is. I played this
Huh.
for about 2.5 hours. Whenever Thursday or Friday last week, and I think it was Friday because that's when it started. And it was surprisingly good. It made me want to like get 3 other friends and jump into ranked. We'll show some.
That's
of the
what it
gameplay
was.
here.
Yeah,
Dude, I mean, like,
It's Halo
Oh,
through
go
and
ahead,
through.
Brian.
Like, look at it.
no, I was
but
gonna say
it's
that.
sorry, go. Jack.
Say
Jericho, please go.
Let's go. Let's go.
No,
You played it. I
no,
haven't.
Jericho, please.
I've only watched a bunch. You played it.
okay, no, all right. So I was gonna say that it's they have the custom games on done really well. So you can already out of the box do your shoddy snipes. You can do SWAT. Like they have Team Oddball. Like it's all the things that you want to do with your friends. You can. And since it's free to play, it's not too hard to convince them to download. It's like 15 gigs. But when you're not playing with friends, like what's the point? It really, you're right though. It does make you want to say, hey, can you guys get on? Let's play some ranked. Let's try a little bit, or let's just have some fun. This map is like Lockout reincarnate.
Yeah, it really is. It definitely. I don't know how they exactly did it, but even looking at this, I'm like, this is Halo. This isn't some weird new game. This is Halo 3 from back in the day. Like they have a pistol as a secondary. They have this assault rifle as your main. There's a battle rifle in the game. There's a sniper. There's shotguns. There's a rail gun that just works exactly like the Halo 3 rail. It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Now that you have talked about all the Halo stuff that actually no one gives a fuck about.
Uh-oh.
Like, why aren't you talking about how incredible the whole idea of the portal aspect, and from even like a competitive perspective, it's almost mind-bending like how awesome people can be on this, right? 'Cause I haven't played yet, but man, I have seen some shit where I am just like, man, I watched a lot of fucking hours of esports, man, commentate, and I'm like, this is on a whole nother level, right? Like,
Yeah.
A lot of people in this day and age can aim, but oh my god, like even from the momentum, the trajectory, the physics of it all, but then just it's crazy because I feel like if you didn't think FPS skill ceilings could go any higher, it's like, boom, this is how you make it happen. The Halo stuff is actually cool. I didn't mean to be a total ass.
No,
about
you're
that.
right.
But I'm just like, I'm so blown away when I have seen like, go watch some videos of people who have obviously played the fuck out of this game and just their brain can work in that fourth dimension where they are doing some crazy shit with the portals and still maintaining like really good aim.
Yeah.
Well, dude, like just a second ago, JP was shooting at a guy. The guy ran out of his sight. So JP fired a portal ahead of him, turned around and fired a portal there, and then walked up to it and blasted the dude in cover.
Right. It's like, I mean, from the fact that you can see through the portal, you could shoot, and then like it's so fucking cool, man.
It's
like
Now, tell me something though. Like, it's kind of interesting that JP, you were equating it so much to Halo, because doesn't the portal aspect like completely change the field?
Yes, but I think that like the first thing, and this is because I played Halo, right? Like that's why I said it's a love letter to Halo players, is because if you played Halo, you see this game and you're like, oh shit, it's Halo on the PC. Like this is fantastic. But then you're like, oh, these portals are the most important thing in here. And exactly what Wheat was saying. I got into a couple games after ranking up a bit in ranked mode and was clearly outclassed by people that knew the maps. Because so they have Halo modes in here. This is TDM, but there's Oddball, like there's King of the Hill. There's
Are portals in all of it?
Yes, portals are in every mode. They're a de facto thing, a default thing. But like when you have the Oddball, you run a little bit faster, and you could still throw down portals. And so when someone knows, and you also have a jetpack, that's something that's not really apparent. So you can kind of like boost and move up a little bit. You can't go super crazy, but there's ways to manipulate speed in this game when you have an Oddball and you have portals and you have a jetpack. So someone that was good got it, and we never saw that person ever to kill them. They just ran free, and they were amazing. So, yeah, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. But people that are definitely good at this game are the people that know the maps. And because, for example, like right here, just looking out, I started to realize, oh, I can throw a portal into that area from here. If I knew that going in and I knew that guy was up top, I could just portal in behind him.
Right. Yeah.
But everyone else also, it's important to note that everyone in the game starts with a nade that's like an EMP grenade that can destroy portals. So if you just throw one of those, it'll destroy the portal right away. And so that's also a big thing as well, is knowing when a portal's coming in. Welcome back, Jericho. Knowing when a portal's going in. It's using the wrong mic now. I think you're going to have to either unmute
Yeah, Jericho, are you muted, bud?
Yeah. He'll get it sorted. I don't know what happened. He got up to let the gas man in, and it just went to shit. I don't know what happened.
You can't hear me?
Now we can.
There we go.
Now I
Yeah,
can.
now you're good.
What the fuck?
Sound beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know. You sound great.
Yeah.
You're coming through great.
Anyways.
Yeah, so I hope this game does well. I hope that it gets a big audience. But
Okay.
I don't know if it's
So
going
about
to.
that real quick. I have not heard of this game until we mentioned it on this show, which, considering I follow games, probably isn't great for their PR.
No.
And second of all, how is this doing on Twitch?
Summit was playing yesterday to 12 to 15,000, and Shroud was playing to 40,000. Outside of like any larger people streaming it, not really.
Yeah,
Anybody
it doesn't do that
streaming
well.
it, you know, maybe like 2,000 people. But like, why? Like the metric of a game's success on Twitch doesn't really translate to how many people play it. Look at like Smash, Super Smash Brothers is killing it, and there's only like 2,000 people watching right now, probably, unless a major's on. So. I don't think it's gonna do anything crazy, but it's definitely gonna keep people like me in the casual side of things. Like, oh, I want to get involved in between now and when Halo PC comes out. But you know,
That's the thing is that they are in a time frame that as soon as Halo on PC comes out, as the Master Chief Chronicles comes out on PC, like this game is gonna get a little bit left behind, if not a lot of it left behind.
Well, the free aspect is going to help, right? It is free.
It is, yeah.
yes, it is free.
Yeah, but
that's assuming that it works. Halo works on PC well.
that's also true.
They
It's
already
assuming a
delayed
lot
it.
of things, without a doubt.
Well, you know, the complexity of this game too is like super interesting, right? Because like, believe it or not, when it comes to FPS games, I think there's like a certain expectation for complexity, right? Like I would imagine that someone who, I won't compare FPS games, but like, right, we don't see a whole lot of Quake deathmatch anymore because of the complexity and the skill ceiling and as high as it can go.
Right.
And I would imagine that like this is similar, right? So with a smaller player base of better players, that just makes it even more difficult for a new player who's interested to come in and actually try to play. So, and I think that detracts people. So it's like a really hard challenge for anything like this that, in my opinion, it's fucking dope. But I think people are going to get their asses kicked constantly. And then it's like, you know, maybe it's not I'll go back to Overwatch or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too, is in the grand scheme of FPS is like BRs kind of came out of nowhere and now they kind of dominate. CS obviously still doing what CS does, but outside of CSGO, like what is the other big FPS right now that's not a BR? Is there one? And I don't play that many of them. I can't. Oh, I'm full screen now. I don't even play that many of them because there's only BR. It feels like. I guess Siege is still big and Overwatch is still big. Yeah.
Yeah, Overwatch. All right.
Yeah.
Actually, those are the only two I was going to say: Overwatch and Siege.
Yeah, and that's about it. And I mean, in some regards, they kind of take on, right? Siege, obviously, more with the Counter-Strike SBI rounds, and Overwatch, I think, more with like the Team Fortress. But I mean, team-based games are the rage right now, right? I'm not even. I would be really curious to see a 1v1 in this game. I think it could be out of this world if you had, two legendary Quake players who could also play with the portals or whatever and just do some amazing stuff. So, but again, if there's not a shitload of players, can you even make a competitive scene out of that?
Right.
The thing I would say, and I was curious about this, is what do you guys think? Like at first I thought, the portals are going to make it impossible to figure out what the fuck's going on. And it's not easy, but the game like translates to the eyes well, I feel like.
Yeah.
No.
Yes and no. I think if you've played FPSs before, like the actual aiming in this game, the more impressive stuff is when you use a pistol, because it's all headshots at that point. And that's like why watching this gameplay than watching like Shroud or Summit use a pistol that can actually fucking aim well is vastly different. But there is a like cap to that. There is a skill ceiling to that, whereas with the portals there's not. And so I think if you watch a player who's really good with the portals, it's going to look so effortless and seamless that it's not going to seem like it's that crazy after you see it a couple times, but then you're going to play and it's going to be like, oh fuck, okay, these people are actually thinking in 4D. Ultimately, right? They're thinking about the map in a way that I can't even begin to comprehend. So I don't know if that'll translate into watching it. I have not spent too much time watching like the Shrouds and the Summits play this, where I know that the aim is going to be impeccable. I don't know if the portals is going to be on the same level as that, but yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see, I guess. Cohh, you were going to say something earlier?
Yeah, I was going to say, when we were talking about games that are popular but not BR games, big sorry to the guy that I don't think got the memo in chat that said Lawbreakers.
Oof. Yikes. And dude, you said Lawbreakers just now, and I thought a lot about Lawbreakers as I was playing this, and I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, it was in my immediate thought of like, this game's going to come out and it's just going to get like forgotten about over time, because the like Halo Master Chief Collection, if done well and if done right, it's going to dominate this arena style shooter, this Halo style shooter on PC. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But it's funny too to see people like Sundance out there, the former CEO of MLG, saying like, "Oh my God, I wish this game existed, years back when we were doing our stuff with Halo, because this would have been amazing to try to push into kind of the esports world from our point of view." And it does look like a game that MLG would make ultimately, but it might be too late. Like they might be coming out a little bit late, past their prime, but who knows? Anything can happen. I hope it does well.
Where's this development team from?
That I have no idea.
Okay,
somewhere in the U.S.
I know it's like 1177 or something is the dev team name, which is apparently their college dorm room number. So they probably were of that era where they played Halo in dorm rooms nonstop in college, which I like that. That's a cool thing. That's a cool way to name your company. But 1047 is the name of it, according to chat. So yeah, it's fun. It's free to play. As of May 22nd. Is that right, Jericho?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on Steam, Epic hasn't bought it yet, so get it while it's hot. We'll see where it goes from there. But I think I'll probably check it out when it actually releases for that first week, just to play some more. It's the first FPS, and Jericho, I'm curious, while you were away, we were kind of talking about this, but it's the first FPS that I've played that's not a BR in what feels like since Overwatch.
Ages.
Yeah, since a long time ago.
You're right. I mean, besides Call of Duty, it's the first, at least relatively, or new IP, I guess I should say, that I was like, oh, this doesn't have a battle royale. It's just like a straight deathmatch. So that was cool. Maybe that's why I spend so much time on it in beta.
Yeah.
Or in alpha.
Maybe so. Well, let's jump into a completely different genre. I think Cohh, you finished Pathfinder, and we haven't talked about it yet. It's done. Your 300 hours of CRPG-ness.
Wow.
Is done.
And you know what? It's the best CRPG I've ever played.
You were saying that last week or 2 weeks ago, something
Better
like
than
that.
all the classics, better than all the recents. Like it's incredible. There are very, very few games like Pathfinder. It's pretty amazing.
Now, before we get into it, should I even pull up VODs? Because everything recently is all super spoilery, right?
Don't pull up anything. Yeah. It's there. Basically, the way that the game works is it's based on a PNP. And then each of the PNP, pen and paper. So it's based on like a normal D&D game. And each of the PNP, there's lots of books for the Pathfinder PNP, and they're all like describing different like events and storylines and stuff. Pathfinder is based on 6 of those books, and then it has its own like overarching ending as well. So it's really, really big, and basically everything from like the last section on is potentially super spoilery, like even if you see a screenshot kind of thing.
Okay, well, this is from like before Anno 1800, so I think this should be okay time-wise.
That should be okay.
Yeah, it's just so people
Should
get
be.
to see what's happening.
Yeah, the playthrough was 140 hours, not including reloading, so it was actually more of like 70 to 80ish. And then that was the second run that I've done. I did a 160-hour playthrough last year, but unfortunately, that's when the game was so buggy that I couldn't continue. I got to Act 5 of 6.5 acts basically, and it was just I couldn't keep going. Like, it was too messy. So
Yeah.
Is this the game that they used that I think last time I was on you were talking about it, you said the dev team was actually pretty good at fixing stuff, but they ended up fixing something that would break stuff later on in the game?
Yeah, the dev's name is Owlcat, and what was really cool is in my first playthrough, these guys were dead set on getting me to finish the game. So what they would do is they would watch my stream during the day, and then at night they would send me like, okay, here are the bugs we saw, and then at like 5 a.m. the next morning I'd have a hot fix, and it would be like
That's
for
actually
most
pretty
of
cool.
that stuff. Now, as super cool as it was of the devs to do that, of course, that meant that I was getting patch after patch after patch of completely un-QA'd patches. So
Yeah.
eventually it's just like so many little tiny things like started snowballing and getting worse and worse. It just got to the point where like my stats weren't adding up properly. An entire city was supposed to change states after I beat it, and it just didn't. I was getting fights from people that I'd already killed. Like it got super weird. So it was like, yeah, I had to end it at that phase. But what's great is the company Owlcat, they stuck with it. They have been working nonstop for a half year, and they turned that unfinished, unrealized lump of clay into like a masterpiece. Like my last playthrough was not the same game I played the first time. It was almost completely bug-free. There were tons of QOL additions. 2 DLCs had come out. They had both added a bunch, and both were working beautifully. Like it was seriously like 2 different dev teams. It was like 2 completely different products from 2 completely different teams. I wish that every dev stood by their products as much as they do. We would have a lot better games out there.
Yeah, they're Ubisoft in a
praise.
way, in a sense, with how Ubisoft like pushes every game now a year or so after the fact. And Rainbow Six, like what, 30 years after that game has been out, they're still out there patching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it seems like the devs that are like this are working on CRPGs. Because I mean, we saw the same with PoE 2. Pillars of Eternity 2 released a buggy mess with all sorts of issues. About 6 months later, multiple DLCs and looking great. DOS 2 with the Definitive Edition, huge, over 2,000 bug fixes in the Definitive Edition. Like, what the hell? And then now we have Owlcat with Pathfinder. So
Yeah.
the good companies are still out there. They're just working mostly on RPGs. it seems.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy
and
too.
not Anthem.
Right. It's kind of crazy to think about the devs that work on potentially like one of the harder games to bug fix because they're just so damn big are the ones that are
And
getting
so
constant
many
updates.
choices.
Yeah.
Right.
And like
I wonder
it's crazy to think, like especially in Pathfinder, there's massive choices in Pathfinder. Like at one point you get up to like a super boss, you can kill him for the good option. You can kill him and steal his ultimate artifact, and then you have like this super powerful thing that you can do as evil, or you can recruit him if you want to, as a even more evil than that option.
Huh.
So I mean, like, and all of those lead to major gameplay forks in terms of like what happens in the story and what's available to you and what powers you have. So, and that's just one of 50 examples in Pathfinder where they give like they let you do full evil playthroughs, and you can basically kill every main character if you want to.
With
so you
as
just
many
erase them.
hours as you've put in, Cohh, would that actually ever get you to go back for a replay? Like, was that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm planning on doing. I'm going to force myself to do an evil playthrough down the road. I'm one of those people that has kind of a hard time playing outside of my archetype. Like I generally like to be the good guy because that gives you the best options, and you want to be the hero
I
and everything.
understand.
But I tell you, man, Owlcat has done such a good job at making evil players actually like role play evil. You get rewarded for being evil. That like things are in some cases better if you're evil. Like it's a little, not a lot of games do that. So
Yeah.
I may down the road do a new playthrough as like a Loeffler chaotic evil and see where it goes.
To kind of pull back from this game specifically and jump into the conversation of games coming out that aren't yet ready to be released in a sense, or games coming out that are quote unfinished. This whole conversation. Do you think that when the Ubisoft of the world or when the CRPG devs of the world go out there and release a game like this, and then a year later it's getting praise from someone like yourself and fans of the game, does it warrant them to continue to do that? Like, is that a bad thing? Do you think for the industry where we're sitting here like kind of praising them for quote fixing a game when it potentially shouldn't have ever shipped in that fashion to begin with? Is that even worth talking about? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's excellent that they cleaned up their mess, essentially. Would it have been better if they didn't make a mess? Absolutely. Because one of the things I've said multiple times is they lost my Game of the Year chance. Like, this Pathfinder would have been my Game of the Year if I had done my playthrough like this last year. Instead, it was 10th on my top 10. And that was frankly generous. So I'm sure sales were affected. When the game came out, it got destroyed on Steam. I mean, and it was a Kickstarter game. So there was a lot of people that were furious at them because they're like, we've been counting on you for years to do this. We gave you money so you could make this. And you delivered basically like an unworkable piece of like, this is terrible. So I think in terms of like PR and stuff like that, it's probably a pretty big negative for them overall.
Yeah.
I think I speak for many Owlcat fans when I'm saying I really hope they kind of learn from this, and they're already hiring for whatever the next project is. So, hopefully this isn't going to be the thing. But you know what, JP? I hate to say it because, first of all, big companies are starting to do more of what you just said.
Right.
This may go into the news section of our show later, but I'm sure you heard about this EA thing. They're talking about doing soft launches on future games. What does that mean? It means launching an unfinished product. That's what it means. It means charging people to play something that isn't done. And they're saying that they might do this as changing their launch type, like how they launch games, maybe put under this kind of thing. And it's like, well, I really hope people don't want finished games, right up front, because it doesn't look like the industry is headed that way at all.
Yeah. It's really weird to think about, like, is there a double standard where these games, and Cohh, I'll let you say if I could, is this an indie game? Would you say this is an indie game? It's kickstarted. It's not AAA.
It's a crowd-funded indie game.
Okay, a crowd-funded indie game.
It is indie, but crowdfunding is kind of important. That's a leg up that a lot of indies don't have.
Now,
so
my question is there a double standard for AAA devs, EA, Ubisoft, Blizzard, Activision, whoever, whatever name you want to throw in there, coming out with a game that's unreleased, and them getting shit for it, and then some of them stick around, some of them don't, and fix the game. Whereas these guys, it ships not finished, and then it gets fixed, and then they get praised for it. Like, is there a double standard there, you think, where people just shit all over AAA companies no matter what?
I wouldn't say so.
About EA, no.
Yeah.
I think to some degree there is. If you put all developers just as developers, then you absolutely could argue your point. But it's one thing to have, tried and tested teams with decades of industry experience, led by people that have done it 100 times before, bankrolled with millions and millions and millions of dollars. So it's really kind of not only a resource issue, but also an experience allocation issue, and also like it's almost a case by case basis because of how different the situations can be. But I will say that on the flip side, I think it's really messed up when a company like BioWare and EA, who are fundamentally bankrolled on the back, have tens and tens of hundreds of years of experience on their team, and then they release something like Anthem, and they're kind of like, oh yeah, this is okay. Like indie devs do this too, so it's fine.
Right.
And it's like,
do you not think that it's not even like a fair playing ground? Like you have these guys who pretty much get to decide what gets fixed when, how they ship it, what they're doing, versus you have multiple tiers of checks and balances that have to go through pushing even a single patch through an Anthem game, right? There's too many cooks in the kitchen, and so even if you want to do something small, it takes too much time and effort. So I don't think it's like, I'd be willing to bet a lot of the dev team on Anthem. We all read that what was it, Polygon article or whatever?
Kotaku.
It was just, Kotaku. We all read that and recognized that like people on the team recognized how bad things were going to go. So, who do we put the blame on? Is it the dev team? Is it the people that greenlit this? Is it the people that were working to get their salary?
God.
Like, there's too many people to say, like, you fucked this up.
Yeah.
When you start factoring in publishers that are actually making the decisions of that dev team, and then when you take Metro Exodus, you had a publisher, you had a developer, and then you had a third company that owned the IP, and that was the one that caused all the shit.
And then there's shareholders.
Absolutely,
You know?
you're absolutely right there.
Yeah.
And another big thing though, and just to kind of keep the back and forth points going here, if a company is going to do console releases, and if they are going to push their product to all these different ways, that's just them trying to make more money on their product. So if they are going to take the risk and say, I want this on Xbox, on PC, on mobile, and on all this other stuff, but it's going to require a lot more work on our part to do it, that's a decision they're making. So at that point, if they can't keep up with that, like in BioWare's situation or in all these other situations, Bethesda is a great example. Like Fallout 76 had a beta before it came out. Everybody said it was terrible and needed work. And then it was a month and a half before we saw a patch for it. And that's because Bethesda had to make a patch for PC, for Xbox, for PS4. It had to be validated. It had to do all this stuff. And it's like, can you just give Bethesda a pass for that? Absolutely not. It's like, you guys released an unfinished product, and then all of your alleyways for updating it were traffic jam. Because of you. Yeah. So it's again, case by case, but yeah, it's a nasty situation.
I hate the idea too that this is sort of not relevant, but you said that Fallout 76 had a beta. If I remember correctly, the beta was a month prior to game shipping. So that's not calling it something a beta thing, when it's a trial run, right?
Yeah.
And so when everybody played that and said this is shit, they couldn't do anything about it, even if they only were patching for PC, because it was just going to be shit to begin with. It was already shipping like that. So, yeah.
Not only are you absolutely right, but they took it a step further by assuring people it was a beta, and they were paying attention.
Oh, God.
And it's no, it's exactly what Jericho said.
Joke's on you. I was only pretending to be.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, circle back around to Pathfinder Kingmaker. Seems like it's in a good.
Seems like it's a good game.
It's a good spot right now. Good place. Is this still a full?
Great for beginners, advanced, everyone. If you're an RPG fan, check the game out.
Still full price? Have they discounted it all?
I think it's 30 or 40.
Okay.
It's the Explorer's version it's not like a 60. So, and I mean, considering you can get literally hundreds and hundreds of hours out of it, definitely worth the price in my opinion.
Cool.
It is $40 for the Explorer Edition.
Okay.
And then if you want and then there's some DLCs and stuff available to it. It also has another DLC coming out in a month or two. It's actually adding an endless dungeon to the game and roguelike mechanics.
Huh. Okay. Great.
So it's taking all the mechanics and stuff and kind of giving it its own little spin, and then randomized dungeons, and it sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah, still adding
as a part of this game, Cohh, or as a totally separate game?
We're still not exactly sure how it's going to work, because they're saying there'll be some tie-ins, but at the same time it's going to be with new things. So we don't know if it's a standalone or if it's just a little module that adds into it. We're not sure. They did something really creative with their last DLC too, where the DLC was standalone, but you import your save game's character at the beginning, and then the characters you play in the main campaign actually show up in the DLC, and then when you beat the DLC, you get a location in your main game to go pick up some loot and stuff. So they're doing all sorts of weird stuff, and we're not entirely sure.
Sweet. Wheat's frozen. He's going to do the catch-up thing here pretty soon. So
no, he's just listening really intently.
My
right
screen
now.
looks, yeah.
Oh, here it is.
No, he's going to do the catch-up
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, this is known memory.
It's
leak.
quick reaction. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's interesting, Cohh. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that it blows my mind. So the technology behind this will record the video when it freezes like this, and then push it back in real time, sped up, which blows my goddamn mind.
It's caching it, man. It's probably losing the connection, so it caches it, and then it tries to speed it back up to normal.
Yeah, he'll catch back up. It happened to Zeke. So this happened on another show outside of Drop Frames, and we ended up not restarting it with the memory leak, even though we're using about 15 gigs of memory right now. It should be fine. So.
Like one of those old-timey movies, set it to black and white.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It really is. It really
We
is.
need one of those screens with
where's
one
my vape?
sentence
Where's
across
my
the middle.
vape?
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Well,
Oh, dude, he's vaping
Oh,
so
I caught
fast.
it caught up
Damn it.
with the vape.
Shit,
No, that was
no.
perfect. You had the big smoke reveal when it finally caught up.
baked into current time.
Yeah, I love it. What have you been playing besides bouncing through time? Apparently, what have you been doing?
Dude, admittedly, like I'm still playing through Sekiro. I retired on Path of Exile. I think I mentioned that last time. So I've been traveling a lot, and you know what that means? I either read a lot of comics or I find good mobile games to play. So I got two. Oh
Okay.
God, Jericho, that look! Holy shit! Oh
Dude,
damn!
you have games on your phone?
Okay, yeah. I could say three. You guys like Slay the Spire?
I can hear Zeke screaming right now while on the plane. I do it. I like it.
That's amazing.
Call on
Finally,
me.
like a really, really good tablet, like clone of Slay the Spire came out. It's pretty great. You know how much I love the Room series, and this game has been available on PC for a long time, but I just never played it. And then it came out on mobile. But the House of Da Vinci. If anyone's a Room fan and hasn't played this one, it's actually pretty solid, and I think it's like $3 on. Play that one on a tablet.
Yeah,
the one
good.
I actually
the
one I want to talk about is a game called Photographs, and it is done by 88 Games, and this guy has made. His name's Lucas. He's made these two games. One that's called 10 Million, and the other one that's called You Must Build a Boat.
Oh shit!
And
okay, I know those games.
You know,
that guy.
yeah. So this guy, I don't know what it is about this guy, but he like a small team, and he's been releasing these games, and for whatever reason, I have just gotten crazy. And there, no fucking microtransactions, no bullshit like that. You pay your 99 cents, you get this game. In 10,000, it's basically like a dungeon or 10 million. It's a dungeon crawler, and you're trying to get that score 10 million to reach your freedom, and you kind of build and your guy up. And then the other one, You Must Build a Boat, is literally like you're floating down a river, and then you go into these dungeons, and then you build up your boat. And so he was talking about this game he was going to make called Photographs. And it's it's a pixel based game that is obviously about the photographs that are taken, but they start to tell these stories, and I'm glad JP is looking at that. So the stories then unfold as you are completing puzzles that have relevance to the story. However, the stories are like super fucking dark, like what I love. So we have a family account. So like I was like playing this game, and I'm just like, oh my god, right? My wife started playing it, and so I was like, I'm not gonna tell her this fucking game is actually crazy fucking dark. And like you go through these different people's lives, and it's these different stories. And she like looks over at me as she finishes the second story, and I just her eyes, and I was like, yeah, like that shit's kind of crazy, right? And it's so compelling because you want to keep going, and it like drives you. But anyway, I love finding like mobile games. It's like nothing I've ever played. It's actually heavy in storytelling. It has great voice work. The pixel art is really phenomenal. And it's just not, mobile games, everyone thinks it's like a 99-cent dump into it. But this is like really fucking cool. In a world of like people just coming up with like awesome indie PC game ideas, there's still people doing that in a mobile world, and this one's super cool. So Photographs. This guy's name is God, what is it? Lucas. For
some reason, I want to say Pope, but I know that's not right.
No. I don't remember, but this guy's awesome. You give him some props to him and his team. I have tried Gora Gora. It's really cool.
There's a little bit of the trailer. I was
Check it
trying
out.
to find some gameplay of it, but yeah.
It's hard to translate the gameplay because a lot of it is like these mini games that they change with each story. So also the mini games could potentially be like spoilerish. So if even the pixel art is interesting and you're taking like a flight, I think you could probably beat the game in about 3 hours, 4 hours if you're fucking awesome at puzzle. If you're not, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. It's cool.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll find the Slay the Spire clone. I
Blank on the
don't
name.
have it on my phone, so yeah.
Gotcha. Jericho, I kind of stole your thunder and jumped into Splitgate, but what else have you been playing? I saw you playing some Minecraft. I know you've been playing some Minecraft recently.
I played some I'm gonna play Minecraft today. So it's been 4 years since I played Minecraft last.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal when you played Minecraft. I remember those streams.
Yeah,
is some of the biggest on Twitch back in the day. So
yeah, back in the day.
Back in the old day.
I saw Ann made a server, and I was like, shit. I actually saw the volumetric lighting and stuff update that they made to the Sonic Ethers Unreal shaders and shit like that. So I was like, oh, I got a dual PC setup. Let's go ahead and just install everything possible to make Minecraft actually look pretty good. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, like this gameplay, not thrilling. But
here's the thing: is I've never played I played Minecraft once, but I couldn't judge this because I don't know what good Minecraft looks like, except for the fact he just died. So never mind.
Did we just watch Jericho get sniped by a skeleton in Minecraft?
Lesser
the excuse was like the world's so beautiful. Wheat, like I got distracted by the shadows.
Look
and
at
ray
the
tracing.
water. It's incredible.
The water's pretty amazing.
So,
quick side thing here, because I don't think there's going to be a better opportunity to say this on the show. A streamer that had been streaming a hardcore Minecraft game for 5 years died last week on stream to like a little
in game died, not like okay, all right.
No,
Oof,
yeah,
we need to
Minecraft game. Yes.
We need to clarify that.
Dude, he died for this. It was like a little flaming zombie thing or something. And dude, if you've ever seen Reddit, what it looks like when someone dies inside, have you seen those things? Like, oh my
watch
god,
people die inside.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yes, watch people die inside. Yeah,
Dang.
it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, I just wanted to play Minecraft because it's like the ultimate you don't have to do anything game, right? Like you just fucking jump around and people love it and I love it sometimes. So I've been playing. I played Hatful Boyfriend, which is a pigeon dating sim.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a throwback.
Been playing Sims 4, creating a mirror life, like a mirror opposite. So I have a girlfriend. Things are going well. I get paid for my YouTube videos. I'm a content creator in there.
Let's talk about Sims 4 for a second. Because of my, I guess now my fiance and her affinity for Sims 4, I know of some certain mods that exist within the Sims 4 world.
No, I don't have the naked mod.
It goes a little bit further than that.
He's talking about the pet mod, man. Come on.
I do have the pet mod. I made my dog in Sims. He's cute.
Much like the world of Skyrim modding and how crazy that can get, the Sims can actually get crazier. Like some of the stuff that I've seen for Sims modding is actually insane. Not that like Erin has the shit installed. She just says like, "Have you seen this stuff? This is fucking crazy." Yeah,
like what are you talking about? Because I've seen some stuff, but I'm playing just with what EA has given me. What I bought.
Now you got to drop it.
Okay. As Wheat here is an employee of Twitch, this means I cannot get banned for what I will potentially say or not say in the next few moments.
I mean, you're talking about Sims, right? Like,
yeah, the Sims. There's like some hardcore BDSM mods that you can install where like this shit happens on screen in front of you in real time. It goes much further than that. There's like some incest mods. There's some like real nefarious shit going on that's obviously not supported by EA whatsoever.
I mean, they support mods, so you know, in some ways it is, but more importantly, like go mod groups, I guess, right? Like honestly, like some of the greatest games of today were born from mods. So I'm not suggesting that Sims
you slow down. Don't you
like,
yuck someone else's yum, okay?
Yeah.
Slow down.
Shut up, Chad.
You slow down.
You know, some people want to get full. What's weirder, having a full BDSM mod in a game about living like a second life, or doing like Dom sub role play in Overwatch for healing sluts? Which is weirder?
Random comment that is also on this topic. Last night I was playing Final Fantasy 14. It was the oddest comment I've ever seen on the internet to date.
What?
Someone in the FC chat, which is a guild, says, "I just flew over my ex in this area and she was ERPing with someone. That was weird." And I just want to put that out there that that's the type of stuff that exists in the world.
This is a world that I'm happy to live in, JP.
Yeah.
You know, like
I read that. I was
more
like,
power to them.
huh, this is a weird world we live in.
I mean, dude, that's like every time VR chat loads up, honestly. Like, you know, you just walk through a room and it's just like, this is what it must be like to physically just walk by a really odd thing happening.
Yeah.
God,
Also,
the future is so bright.
I'm gonna regret this. What is ERPing?
erotic roleplay. So it's like
Which, by the way, the
it's a big
Pathfinder
deal.
mod for ERP is going to be
it's coming. Yeah,
coming out soon.
it's
So
coming. If you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
Well, I do have another.
I'm
playthrough.
coming.
Yeah. Yeah. ERP
That's a great future.
Anyways,
Yeah.
it's some of those mods out there for The Sims are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
What did you do, Jericho? By the way, in Minecraft, just kind of.
This was I was just trying to make all my settings good. That's why I was like, this is not going to be a fun video. I'm just tweaking settings for 2 hours.
Did you install the RTX
Yeah.
stuff? Or not RTX?
yeah, that's-
I guess RTX stuff.
Volumetric
Yeah.
lighting.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what that is.
so that's
Okay.
that's what I'm doing right now and setting up and stuff. I mean, it looks great. It looks fantastic.
Let me
But
skip ahead.
I have.
See what
I
we
mean,
can
no, I
see.
switched to Splitgate.
There we go.
But yeah, it looks really good. And Minecraft is back, baby. It's not, but
Is it back?
people have been playing a lot more of it.
You're in the YouTube world still. You're still in that shithole. What is Minecraft still big on the YouTubes, or is Fortnite
Yeah.
just completely taken over?
Fortnite is still. I'd be willing to put money that Fortnite took over pretty much everything, but Minecraft is still giant. It's definitely Fortnite Minecraft in
Okay.
terms of like video game content. YouTube's a cesspool. I don't pay attention to it.
YouTube's just a fucking mess.
It's terrible.
Anyways. Anything else besides some erotic
No,
Sims 4 RP, some Minecrafting with RTX, and so what?
Pigeon dating sim.
Pigeon dating sim. Yeah, I can't forget
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been playing some horror games recently. Little Nightmares I just played.
Oh, that
which
one's pretty
was
good.
Oh,
absolutely worth every penny. Really cool art style, really cool idea. Not a single word of dialogue spoken. Just really enjoyed that. Not scary so much as atmospheric. Highly recommend. And then I beat Alien Isolation recently, which was a really fantastic game. I suck at horror games because I'm role playing, by the way. This
Nice.
this is what you get when you watch me. Incredible role play. Look,
It's
that's your
great.
boy.
Yeah, it's 1-to-1.
So immersed right now. One to
beautiful.
one. Yeah, so this I'm a sucker
Wait, which
for
one's
good.
Jericho?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm the small gremlin one, 5'11" guy over here.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for good art style, interesting art styles, games with creepy, weird stories that get told over time. Walking sims, ironically, really big fan of. So this one really hit all the right points.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when this game came out, both Cohh and Zeke spoke pretty favorably about it, and I know a bunch of people that have jumped into Little Nightmares and super enjoyed it. So,
Like
seems,
a 4-hour game or so if you take it pretty slow.
yeah, I was hoping we'd see some of the the characters in it because they have some.
Skip to like the 2/3. Like I don't think there's not really anything to no, I meant 2/3 other way. Other way would be 2/3.
Would it though? I mean, yeah, you're right.
I don't. Yeah, it'd be one. So like, yeah, there maybe. Is that?
There we go. Yeah. It's those type of grotesque. Oh,
Very
this is the perfect
studio.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah, almost like Studio Ghibli-esque, like Spirited Away vibe here. Just like, oh yeah, I get eaten. Tough, but just
Perfect.
a creepy underlying story. Buy the game.
It's cool. It's got some good style to it, without a doubt.
did any of you guys play that one? I'm trying to figure out the freaking name of it, but it's like an FPS and almost a Cuphead era style and all black and white. Is anyone?
Not descriptive enough, surprising. I don't know. I haven't heard of that.
FPS.
I played one like 20 years ago called 13.
Is this a
No,
recent game?
Oh, Bendy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Zeke played Bendy the Ink Machine. Yeah, Zeke's played that before. We talked
Oh,
about
that's
it before.
what it is. Yeah, thank you.
He said he's pretty into it. It wasn't like
Was it horror?
Yes, he said if I recall correctly, the game was pretty dark.
This looks
Yeah.
sick.
Funny
I
enough,
think this game just reminded me of that.
the voice of Claptrap, I think, worked on the original voice of Claptrap. I believe worked on.
Oh
that.
yeah, gotta be careful these days.
Yeah.
Game. Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't want to get called out by Randy on Twitter or anything, so I gotta be careful. Jesus, we're gonna talk about that at the second half of the show because it's a fucking mess. But since we're talking about old games, I've been playing nothing but old games, and I want to return, and I did return, but I want to return to talking about it. Cohh, did you ever play the Final Fantasy 15 DLCs?
Tell me this. Is it true that there's now an alternate ending?
Yes. But no, but yes. So
that might get me to replay it.
Very helpful.
Oh my God. I'm so upset about that game because it had... I enjoyed it, and I had to go back and actually watch off Streamco when we talked about it on our Game of the Year show. Because that was the one that we did in person, and you gave it your Game of the Year 3 years ago, right? I think it was 4 on my list. Was it your Game of the Year, or was it...
3 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah. I think 3 years ago was DOS 2, then Final Fantasy 15, then Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Yes, I think that's accurate. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I played the PC version. The PC version is the Windows version, which is the Royal version, is what they call it on the consoles, which has all the DLC. And then I played the Arden DLC, which is the final DLC that's come out for the game. That came out like a month ago or something like that. First off, the game is drop dead gorgeous on PC, especially with the 4K texture mod. It runs. I had to go back and watch footage of the original game. I don't know how I played it in its original state. I don't know how you played it in its original state. Let me pull up some footage here because it is a night and day difference running with 4K mods at 60 FPS at 1440p. Like it made Assassin's Creed Odyssey look bad. Having played that yesterday, with how good it is. Let me go back a little bit so that I'm not spoiling the ending of this or the DLCs of this. Where is this? It's like Titan stuff. This is fine. So yeah, this is the PC version of Final Fantasy 15. This is pretty early on in the story, but so the DLCs came out. The rest of the game's fine. I still stand by everything that I said. It's still one of those things where you get to like the chapter with Leviathan and the chapter with Lunafreya, which looks gorgeous, but you start to see that the story's a little bit fucking odd. Oh, this is the Gladio DLC, actually. My bad. Let me skip past this. You start to see that the game came out in the way it did, and they did change some stuff. The infamous Chapter 13, Cohh, the corridor simulator, there's an alternate route to that where you play as Gladio and Ignis, and you see their side of things, and it adds a lot to the story in terms of kind of tying that up and making that sense. Yeah, it's gorgeous looking.
Did you play through the whole thing again,
I did the whole thing
JP?
from start to finish.
Okay.
Yeah, whole thing plus the 4 DLCs.
How long is it?
You can rush through. I didn't do very much side stuff. I think it took 24 hours, something like that.
From the start of the first game to all the DLC.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't do any side stuff. Like, I want to be clear about that. 0 side stuff, which the game has a ton of side stuff.
Right.
Wait, what difficulty did you play it on?
Normal. The normal difficulty, whatever the highest is, which I think is normal. But yeah, 13's completely different. They have an alternate route. And even the other route, the quote main route, is different than it was before. They explain a lot of stuff that was left out. And there's some other stuff. The ending of the base game is actually completely different. There are 5 or 6 fights added into it that make the ending when things just... I mean, I think we can spoil the original ending of Final Fantasy 15, but you see creatures at some point and you're just like, who the fuck are those guys? Why the fuck do those models exist? And now they give you information on who these people are as you see them. Which is good. It's a good thing to have information on who the fuck people are that just randomly pop up.
Lore.
I want to ask you like a super, super spoilery question.
I'll put up my hands. No, let's do it. When my hands go down, the spoiler talk is over. Let's go.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about this.
If you've not seen the end, please mute now. Okay, here we go. Is the very, very end still the same? You know what I mean?
Yes. In the main game, it's the same. But the DLC has a different ending to the main game. And that's where it gets fucking weird. They go down
did you play that after?
Yes. Yes. It goes down like alternate reality type stuff.
Okay.
And then you start to realize that since they canceled the other 4 DLCs that were supposed to come out that were going to, I think, expand on that stuff, they had 4 other DLCs. It was like, or DLCs. It was Lunafreya, the girl, the dragon girl, the Dragoon, what is her name? Aranea had a DLC planned, and then there was a Noctis DLC, which was going to be the final one. But that's all scrapped. It's all scrapped. It's all done. Yeah. But they took those stories and released it into a novel in Japan, which is not out in the US. And the novel actually breaks down the final story. And had that been in the game, I get chills thinking about how good this game would have been from a story perspective, because it makes it seem like we played 2/3 of the game. It truly, truly feels like we did not play anywhere near what they wanted this game to be. Having seen what's in that
15
story.
Years when they do the Final Fantasy 15 remake, they'll actually make it.
Yeah. It is.
That's rough.
It is and that novel stuff fits with exactly what Final Fantasy stories have been across all their other games. Without getting too specific, like I was legitimately sad when I finished it and read what was in those novels, because I was like, fuck, this would have been such an amazing game for that to just be like a high point at what happens in 15, and then for there to be even more after that.
And they've announced that they're basically, like, with the PC version coming out as kind of like the Royal Ultimate version, are they basically done with Final Fantasy 15 now?
Yeah, so the PC version came out last year, and Arden, the DLC for Arden, came out about a month ago, and that was the final DLC they put out. Arden is the bad guy in this game, the antagonist, if you've never played it. So you play as him. It's their longest DLC and most fleshed out DLC. And it actually, you don't know who Arden is for 99% of this game, and even at the very end, it's very briefly mentioned, and the DLC fleshes it out and tells you his entire story, why he is the way he is, who he is. You get to play as him. You get to see like parts of the story that is slightly mentioned. In the Arden DLC, you walk over to an area, and it's like this giant map, which looks like basically what a world map would look like in any other Final Fantasy. And you can go across all the different areas, and they have like 2 or 3 different almost PowerPoint slides is effectively what they are, that tell you what's going on in those areas. And had that been in the original game, it would have been so much fucking better just from the get-go. Like, they wanted this information to be there. You could tell so bad, but they just ran out of time and money, ultimately, across the board for this, which is why it was in such development hell for so long. And you can see that as you play the DLCs, and it just makes me more and more sad the more that I would play it, because they're all over the place in terms of like wrapping up stories. And halfway through the game, Gladio leaves. His DLC is where he goes when he leaves and how he comes back. And knowing why he did that explains why when he comes back, he's literally a different character. Like, his entire demeanor and the way that he interacts with everyone is like this weird, like, stop fucking around, like, this is serious type attitude. And when you play it the first time, you're just like, what are you doing? You're just different for no reason, and it's not explained. And once you play the DLC, it makes sense. And that goes for, like, there's a character in the game that loses his sight, who's a main character. His DLC explains exactly why that happened, and it is the best potential, like, badass scene in the entire game, in the entire like catalog of Final Fantasy 15. The scene where he loses his sight is fucking amazing, and it's not there unless you play his DLC, which didn't come out like 2 years after the fact of the base game.
Just to like understand, because I was looking at Final Fantasy 15, the Windows edition. Does that already include all these DLCs?
That has everything except for the Arden DLC. Yeah, which is like $10.
If you were wanting to do that, you would basically need to get the Arden Complete Edition.
Yeah.
God, I see it now. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, the DLC is part integral of the story, which it's one of those things too where it's like, fuck, man, I wish they weren't like one. I don't know why, if it was removed because they wanted to make it DLC, or if it was removed because they just didn't have time to explore this stuff. It could go either way, and it's up to the developers if they ever reveal that information, or if they already have. Chat will probably tell me soon. But it's one of those things where it's like, if this was in the main game, it would have made so much more fucking sense. If you've played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because there's just random cuts that occur, and nothing is stated as to why the character is the way they are at that point in time. So, I would say Cohh, it might be worth replaying down the line if you ever have like a dry spell of games to play.
Sounds like it, man.
because
Sure.
the DLC adds so much to it. The DLC adds so much to it, and it makes it a lot better. And then once you're all done with that, just read what the novel actually is, and you start to think like, "Fuck, the story is actually good. It's actually a good story." It's not.
If the novel came out in English, would you read it?
It's been like fans translated, I think. So I could go read it now, but I just had someone summarize it. I don't know how long it is ultimately, but they gave me like the cliff notes for it.
You could read the ERP version of it.
I could read the ERP version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could. Yeah. And the other thing of like splitting it into like the anime of the 4 people before and like the movie and like all this extra shit that if that was just in the game, it would have been so much better. They shouldn't have done all this extra shit with it. It should have just been one complete game. So I'm glad I went back and replayed it, but it just left me upset and it made me hoping that whenever Final Fantasy 16 gets around to being a thing, that they're able to actually from start to finish do exactly what they want there, and they don't cut any of it for DLC. They don't make a fucking movie out of it. They don't make it into an anime. Like they just make one thing, and that's it. But we'll see what happens. Who knows? Cohh, what about you? Anything else you've been playing besides the Pathfinders recently?
Days Gone and Mordhau.
We could talk Mordhau because I have not played it. I played the early access, what seems like years ago now, with Gassy and Zeke. So I'm curious to see what's changed. What was that? Was it you?
I had forgotten about this. Me, you, and Zeke played on a Drop Frames.
That is right. We did do it. Okay. So was Gassy there at one point? Did we play with Gassy after you left or something? Am I just substituting him for you for some fucked up reason?
Damn.
Probably.
I don't know. Anyways, Mordhau. Let's talk about it. How is it?
Yeah. Should be, apparently. Mordhau is awesome. It's basically everything that we liked about Chivalry and more. There's more game modes. The combat system has been enhanced and tweaked and changed and added and grown out. There are more weapons. There are customized classes now. There's tons of armor options. There's perks. Like it runs really well. The netcode's fantastic. I mean, it is basically just it's Chivalry 2, essentially, and it's beautiful. So it has been a huge amount of fun. It's just visceral medieval combat. Basically all it is. And it's really cool.
Jericho, have you touched this at all?
No, I was watching Summit play it last night, and I've seen people talk about it. I did not. These types of games look really fun to me, and then I play them, and I don't love them that much. It's
here.
just like I don't love the like rock paper scissors combat, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, it looks cool. Looks really cool. And when I saw Summit kind of popping off with it, I was like, damn, like you can definitely get some interesting moments.
Yeah, I mean, to talk about that, Cohh, like, is it literally just Chivalry combat? Because that's what I remember it being pretty much. Like, it's rock, paper, scissory. You kind of go in and have to react to what your opponent's doing in terms of how he's attacking you and that type of stuff. And, and weapons and whatnot.
It's essentially the first big differentiation between people is the weapon type. So there's all sorts of important differentiations between the weapons. There's like small and fast weapons. There's big swords. This big hammer that I'm wielding is like super powerful, but it has something called hilt stop, to where if there's like 3 people in front of me and I swing this giant hammer and it hits the first person, unless that person dies, then my hammer stops. But if I was like using a sword, then it would go right through all of them. There's also huge variation in the weaponry type. So because of the game modes, you have like duels, in which case, you're better off using like dueling weapons because that's all you're doing. Or for instance, if you're playing something called, I think it's called Frontline, which is essentially like a giant it's kind of like Rush from Battlefield, where there's multiple points and you have to kind of move through them. And, points have like special things like horses or siege weapons that you can get and stuff like that. If you're playing a mode like that, then getting something like a giant spear and just staying behind the front line and poking people, I went 18-0 doing that yesterday. Where at the same vein, if someone were to have rushed me and engaged me with a small weapon while I had this big spear, he probably would have outgunned me, and I could have, he could have just like gotten around it and killed me. So, cool. There's lots of different weapon types, lots of different styles. The game modes really kind of like add to that. There's horse riding now. You can have lances. You can like charge people down. There's ballistas. So you can be siege engineers.
Talk about this on screen right now. Like what is you're buying equipment?
This is character customization.
Okay.
So basically you earn in-game gold. You can't buy it. and you do that by playing. And then you have a certain amount of points on your custom character. Every weapon, you have 3 weapon slots, and there's also items like fire bombs, throwing knives, axes, and you spend points putting items in those. And then on top of that, there's 3 different armors: helm, chest, and legs, and each of those can be up to tier 3 armor. So you can then buy and mix and match different armor types, and then the armor types dictate how slow you are, how fast you are, how armored you are, like how, basically that kind of thing. And then on top of that, there's perks. So you can sacrifice equipment points to get perks like use less stamina when you attack, or you're quiet when you crouch, so you can sneak up on people. There's a really expensive perk that makes it so every time you kill someone, you get all of your health back. So, some people pick like a super glass cannony build with that, and they try to just get into the melee and just cut as many heads off as they can. Lots of different ways to play, lots of customization, and also lots and lots of cosmetic stuff. So it gives you kind of a reason to keep playing. So like of the 3 armor types, every armor type has like 10 different graphics that you can then buy and unlock with gold. Oh. When you get a weapon, every weapon breaks down into components: head, shaft, hilt. And then those you can buy custom things of to like mix and match your weaponry. And then so there's like all sorts of little carrots on a stick to kind of keep you going. And then of course weapons unlock with gold as well. And those are, you really kind of want to try out all the weapons. Another big thing this game does is almost every weapon has an alternate hilt. So like if you're using a sword and you go up against someone armored, you can do, I don't remember what the name of it's called Mordhau grip or something, where they actually flip over and hold the blade, and then they use the hilt to attack with, and that will do more damage and stuff. If you're using a spear, you can hit R and you'll choke up on the spear, so you can put more power into a thrust attack. So like there's lots and lots of little stuff like that. And then the combat system itself has been hugely upgraded from Chivalry. So not only can you parry, you can riposte, you can chamber, which is when you do, if somebody swings at you from the left, you can angle your sword in the exact same place and attack right before it hits you, and you will slide your weapon up theirs and then poke them with it. So it's kind of like a super parry, but it costs a huge amount of stamina. So if you miss, then you might go down. If you run out of stamina and parry something, you drop your weapon, and then if they attack you, they cut off limbs. So it's like there's all sorts of these little like fun changes, fun mechanics that make this game honestly like a huge amount of fun. I played it for 8 hours, and still every minute I'm learning something.
Now, does that go to shit in group fights like this? Everything you just described, like, is it just a fucking mess?
Not really. The people that know what they're doing tend to be the last ones standing.
Okay.
Like I tell you, like there's some people that have really learned. Like a huge part of this game is positioning. So if there's a group running at you, if you charge straight into them, of course you're gonna die. But like if you put your back to a wall and you really kind of make sure to keep people in front of you, don't let them get behind you. Move your feet to get around things. Like it can really be a big deal in terms of survivability. So that's why some players are going like 36-6. And then people like me are like, yay, I got a positive KDR.
I remember when we played, I did not do well. And that was part of the frustration because everyone was so much better. And there was no sense of me learning. It was just, I'm going to die. Like, there's no learning occurring. I'm just going to get murdered. Is that different where there's enough idiots like me playing the game to where you can kind of learn and be like, is there matchmaking based on skill levels, or is it just you're put into a game with a bunch of people?
As of 3 days ago, this game sold more than 500,000 copies.
Right.
There are tons of
no shit.
Okay.
Good for them. That's
very
amazing.
successful. There are tons of new players. Streamers like me and many others who are streaming it constantly just have viewer games and stuff. So we're constantly bringing in brand new players to play with us. Also, there's dueling servers. So if you want to learn how to do well, jump on a dueling server. It's amazing how much you will learn going one-on-one with a person. And also there's a very good tutorial, and that tutorial was not in when we played JP. And that tutorial is not funny, but it teaches you every move in the game and exactly how to do them. So it really, really helps.
That's good.
There was stuff in that.
Cohh, will you comment on any sort of ranged class? Because like admittedly it just looks like there's the red shirts there to just fucking like every guy's like, oh god, it shows the wrong weapon, and then I see their head get lopped off. Did you try any of the ranged class, or was your only experience against them just hacking them down?
Short bows, crossbows, fire bombs, throwing daggers, throwing knives, throwing spears. It's really kind of a pick your poison kind of thing. There are some people that are phenomenal with range classes, but this is not an FPS. So when you have a crossbow, you hold down left mouse button to aim it, and then when you let it go, it releases, and then you have a nice 2-second, put it on the ground, pull the string back, put your crossbow. Bows are the same way. You draw that bow back, it is never going to be dead set, and after about 3 seconds, your aim is gone. Like at that point, you're having to talk about pulling your bow back. So it's a very realistic range system in that regard. It is by no means like oh, I'm an FPS player, I'll be at home here. Nothing like that. I will say though that people that get good at ranged weapons are insanely difficult to kill.
They just one tap you.
After that stuff, like they'll get a few when you're on the way in. They'll whip out their cleaver, like a butcher cleaver, and they'll just tear you to pieces. Yeah, it can be a very lucrative if you know how to do it properly. I am not one of those people.
A bunch of people in chat are saying to ask you about the BR. There's a battle royale mode in this.
And a horde mode.
There's a battle royale mode.
Yes, yeah, you fight AI people, and apparently it's great. Apparently it's really hard. Like you have to have like a group of tight-knit communicating people to do well. But the BR mode is really fun. Queues up super fast. You start with your fist. There's chests everywhere. It's a smaller map. It's only like 12 to 16 people. The games are over in a matter of minutes. Then you just queue back up and do it again. It's super quick, super easy, and yeah, it's a rudimentary BR mode. It is rudimentary. Like barely any UI. There's not like a stats screen. I mean, it's very much like, hey, Frank, you want to put a BR mode in? Sure, give me half an hour. You know, it's that kind of
Makes sense. Makes sense. Is there any to throw For Honor into the ring with this game? What is For Honor the arcade version of this, and this is more of like the hardcore version of that? Like, what would you?
I'm getting that question so much.
Yeah, and that's I saw a lot of it in chat.
That I've not played For Honor for a long time. And the game has made huge leaps in the last like 6 months. Like they fixed the server lag issue. There's tons of new classes. So I've not played For Honor for a long time. I can tell you though that this game feels completely different because there's no locking on. And also not only is there no locking on, but all the weapons in this game are 3D tactile objects. So how you move your character can fully depend on what you do. So for instance, there's this things called excelling and decelling, where if you start a swing, and then you physically turn your character the direction you're swinging while you're swinging, you will slow down your swing to trick someone to parrying early. Same things works for accelerating. So you can pull a sword back and then whip your character to the right, and it will actually hit them faster than if you were to just sit there and swing your axe. Same thing with up and down. You can actually start an overhead swing and then slam your camera down, and your sword will hit them sooner. So with all that kind, and also
like a high skill ceiling.
Yeah.
Yes, very, very high skill cap for this game. And then on top of that, you have like the wasted movement where you plant your feet. And I mean, there are people who will sit there dancing as you try to hit them. The second you swing, they'll pull back just enough to whiff, and then they'll pop in and pop you once with their rapier, and then they'll pull back again. And you're sitting there swinging wildly. Well, he's literally just dancing around your stuff. You can even crouch under a swing. So if someone comes up to you and just swings an axe, you can straight hold crouch, look up as the sword goes over you, and then stab him in the taint. It's great.
Nice.
Taint stab.
Yeah.
Wait, what about
taint
so?
stabs.
I've heard a lot of not so great things about the server and the game crashing.
Ooh,
Apparently that's just me. Is it okay? So like we have a server, a custom server on our own computer, and we've been having issues with it crashing. Like every 1 to 3 games, the server will just die. Just everything gets picked and it goes down. Now the devs were actually super cool because I tweeted about it and we got in touch with their Discord and my server guys talking to them. The problem is these devs don't do basically any error logging. So whenever our server dies, there's nothing to tell us why it dies. It just turns off. And the part that's kind of bad on top of that is the Mordhau devs are telling us that essentially like it might be our computer that's the problem. So, but we're like, it's your program and your program isn't telling us why it's crashing. So there are some streamers, like there's a big streamer, CDN the Third, and he's been playing this game a lot lately, and he has rented a server. And from what I understand, his rented server works pretty much perfect. So my only advice would be for this right now is if you're thinking of having your own server, you may want to stick to like renting it from one of the big guys because they are kind of like Atlas did at the beginning. They're having some serious issues with like private servers on private computers.
Gotcha. Okay.
We are trying a bunch of different things though. My server guy has been up like all night. We're trying Linux now. We're like trying different OSs. So we're hoping to get around this, and if we do, we'll let everyone know.
That reminds me of the the olden days of getting some Quake servers running, some TDM servers running, all that shit for sure. How much is this? $40, $30? What's the price point?
This game is on.
It's 29 standard, and then I think the Founders Pack is 39. I was just looking at.
Yep.
It.
Okay.
Nailed it. The Founders Pack is the supporter pack, and I think that's to get the like. It was a Kickstarter game, so I think it like gives you some of the benefits of that if you want to partake.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, I'm curious to see where that goes. We mentioned For Honor, but for any of the Star Wars nerds out there, if you didn't see it on the 4th, on May the 4th, they put Star Wars lightsabers into For Honor.
That's cool.
No shit.
It wasn't like a Star Wars sanctioned thing, but it was like a samurai and like a Viking with 2 axes walked out, and they pull out their weapons, and it was like a green glowy weapon with like the lightsaber sound, and then the other guy pulled out his katana, and it was like a red lightsaber.
That's cool.
It was cool looking, and it also made me wonder if Ubisoft was doing. I mean, they were doing it for like a promotional event, but it also made me wonder if they were like, hey, we could make a pretty badass like lightsaber fighting game if you just gave us the IP over there, Disney. Like, look at this game.
Planted seeds.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, damn, this would be sick if this was a Star Wars game.
Okay, take Mordhau, make them Jedis and Imperial Troopers, and with that character loadout, your perks are force powers.
Yeah.
So you could like mix and match having some kind of super Jedi, and then just like take it into combat. Oh, dude.
There's a lot of games where I wish it was like, but what if this was a Star Wars game? And then we look at like Battlefront and we haven't really seen the new thing yet.
That's the first thing I think of when I think of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, EA.
Yeah, I hope the Fallen Order is good. We'll be seeing that at E3, which is exciting, but who knows? I reserve all judgment until then. I don't want to say it's going to be good. I don't want to say it's going to be bad. I just want to see what it is. What else? We're kind of due for a break. I'll talk briefly because this won't take too long. I jumped back in for whatever reason. I'm jumping into games that have had DLC come out, and so I jumped back into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I was super into last year. Ubisoft is crazy because they have added. So I had to sit. It took me an hour and a half to see everything that they had put in this game before I even got to DLC. They've raised the level cap now to, I think, 99 in the game, where it was originally 50. They have master levels now. They have, if you play World of Warcraft or any MMO, they have transmog, so you can make your gear look like any other gear that you've already acquired. For what reason, I don't know, but it's badass because you can just make your character look really cool with the stats of another item, which is awesome. And it definitely seems like the recurring comment that was always in chat from people that were just stopping by because in the game directory was like, yeah, this is the game where the quests don't end. Like, this is the game where you just continue doing quests for literal like days. A lot of people said they had finished 100% of the game plus the 2 DLCs, or the 3-part of the first DLC and only 1 part's out of the second DLC, which is another 3-parter. They said it took them 130 hours, 120 hours, something like that. So it just seems like, and it took me 57 to complete the main quest. The first DLC is apparently 15 hours if you just do the main stuff. But yeah, they've just continued to support this game, and I had absolutely no idea that they kept patching and adding this much shit into it. But I think that's like Ubisoft's MO now, where they will just stick with a game no matter how it launches and continue to add whatever the community like is wanting.
Ubisoft Redemption arc.
Yeah, which is cool. It's really good to see that stuff.
Wait, is the whole like underlying background of Assassin's Creed still a part of this series? You know,
yes and no. So the first DLC is actually called Order of the First Blade. So it deals with like the assassins, because you don't have like the wrist blade at all in this game until that first DLC, and it shows up. And I don't know if I get it or if it's just a guy in the game that has it or how it relates, but I know it's in there. I should. This is a stupid part of the bot. I don't want to just show me swimming.
What do you mean? There's dolphins,
minutes.
Man.
I don't want to show me just swimming for the next 5 minutes because I was doing swimming for subs. It was really stupid.
Good one, JP.
Yeah, no, it was a joke, and chat took it too seriously, so we swam around for about 15 minutes until I had to call it quits. Yeah, I'm also playing on the hardest difficulty, so these Persians are the new enemy type in the first DLC, and I got like literally 2-shot by them, so the difficulty's still there if you're playing melee. But yeah, it seems like the game, like people were saying yesterday, the game or the quest just don't stop, and they're all voiced. They're not necessarily the most impactful quest. It's not like I'm having sincere moments with fucking Bob the farmer who wants me to go kill 10 pigs or something like that. But they're still voiced. They're still cool. You still make some funny commentary or funny decisions in there. And it seems really fun. I'm really eager to get to the second DLC because it's Atlantis. And the scenes within that, I do want to show a trailer. Look nothing like the actual game that I've played thus far. They just look insane.
Kind of stayed away from Assassin's Creed games after like the 9th one that I played, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So when this one came out, at least when they showed the E3 trailer, I think most people are like, cool, it looks cool, but it's probably going to be another Assassin's Creed game. This is like the first one that I've heard multiple people praise, actually.
Yeah.
In a while.
Well, it's I mean, with Origins, the game prior to this, they basically were like, hey, that Witcher 3 was a pretty good game. What if we just took the Assassin's Creed lore and like put that in a Witcher style game? And that's what they've done for 2 games in a row now. And it seems very good, but it's not the same Assassin's Creed that like, it's not Brotherhood or AC2 or any of that.
Yeah.
Like you're stabbing people, but it's not the main focus.
I miss Brotherhood, man.
Yeah, that was like peak ACO for sure. But yeah, these are the worlds that you traverse in Atlantis, and it's fucking drop dead gorgeous, and it looks nothing like the rest of the game where you're just touring Greece. So I'm very, very eager to get to it because it's like Inception bullshit.
That's cool.
Which seems really fucking fun. So it's going to be like 20 hours till I get to it, but I got to get through the first DLC first. The other thing too, I forgot that it's very easy to jump into Assassin's Creed and just start killing people, and then 3 hours pass, and you're like, hey, I'm still killing people, but I'm having fun. Let's stab this guy. And that's like my experience thus far. We'll see how long it sticks with me. Doesn't this look crazy, Cohh, that this is in Assassin's Creed?
This is a game I used to love called Too Human.
Yeah, it does look a little bit like Too Human. You're right. Too Human was great, by the way.
We need Too Human.
Look at that world. That looks gorgeous. It's all like Atlantis-y. I don't know. I don't want to show too much of this trailer. It looks fucking cool.
I just want to play that.
That's impressive.
For all the other AC stuff.
Cohh,
right?
if you buy the DLC, you can they will just give you a character that allows you to jump straight to it and skip all the rest of Assassin's Creed. You can just jump straight into the Atlantis DLC if you want to. I don't think it costs extra. Do what?
Is that out now?
The first part is. It's a 3-part DLC, and the first part is out now. So
When's the last part coming out? Like months or years?
probably months. I think that's part of like their fucking roadmap. I hate using that term, but it's part of the roadmap.
When it's all the way out, I may have to check that out.
Yeah.
That looks cool. It looks real cool. I love that sci-fi shit, man. That was one of my favorite parts with the entire AC franchise was like the Desmond line and like the apple and the Eden and the like that was the cool part.
Did you beat
Did
you beat Odyssey, Cohh? I don't know if you finished it.
Oh, God no. I played it like 4 hours or maybe 8 hours, maybe 2 sessions, and I just couldn't hold me, man. I really liked Origins, but I and even though there's a lot of new stuff, I couldn't shake that I just felt like I was playing Origins. I don't know why. It was a personal thing, but
You're not wrong. The combat is pretty much, it's not identical, but it is very similar, without a doubt.
the big problem was for me at the end of Origins, I really had to push it. Like I definitely ran out of steam towards the end of Origins. So then like come back in Odyssey and it's just like
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely like if you don't like that loop, then that game is that loop ad nauseum, basically. So if you're not into it, you're not going to enjoy it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm very curious to see where the story goes because I finished it and it gets very sci-fi at the end of that game and does some like time travel bullshit a little bit. So it gets very, very sci-fi. Like they go places with the story in Odyssey that they had not done.
That's in base ACO?
Yeah. The end of the game is yeah. It gets into like Greek
Really?
legend and like gods and demigods and the way that the world is structured and some stuff. Yeah, talking like very vaguely.
Sounds
about
a lot
the end.
more interesting.
Right,
Okay.
but it takes a long time to get to that stuff, to be fair. Like what you're saying, you have to put in some hours before you even start seeing inklings of that stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you haven't jumped into it, it's still a great game. And I think it's actually pretty discounted now that it's been out for a while. And they're still adding shit to it almost what seems like every month. They put out like a full content plan and do a full video and all that shit. So makes me want to see what they go next, because apparently it's Viking related. And I want to
Norse, I'm down.
Yeah.
It's, like the second they ditch like trying to be super realistic, they're just like, fuck it, dude. We'll just demigods. Like,
it's pretty
I'm
cool,
more interested
man.
in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I still want Assassin's Creed like medieval Japan or something. I can't wait till they
Ooh,
bring.
there was a quote from one of the devs that they said that like they want to do that, but they want to save it to when the game needs like a bump in terms of it needs to be like reinvigorated or something like that, which is smart because
That's a little sad.
that's what everyone
But, yeah,
wants,
that's-
obviously.
yeah,
Like you want to see
exactly.
Japan Assassin's Creed for sure. Have like ninja versus samurai and yeah, all that stuff.
Well, with all the samurai-esque games coming out, man, like there'll be a point in which people are like, "Fuck, I want samurai." So it's going to be a long time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the same thing's happening to anime.
What do you mean?
No.
I'm just saying you can't get tired of samurai. Like it's
Yeah,
it's
you
stuff's
can't
awesome.
get that's you
really have
can't
too
get
much of
tired
it?
of.
Yeah, like I don't know. Man. I
All right.
always anytime I see that stuff, I'm like, ooh, I gotta check that out. Like, are there swords and ninjas and shit? Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah, I guess you can't really get tired of like samurai and ninja.
I mean, I thought I couldn't get tired of fucking zombies, but let me tell you that
I got tired of
Fucking-
I
zombies.
got tired of zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm tired of superhero movies, man. When are we?
No,
when
fuck
are we
that.
getting?
We're taking a break. We're taking a break. That we're not even going to allow that discussion to occur here on this planet. Jericho's out. Lesser Cohh has made his stance. Long may he reign. With comments like that. Jesus. We are due for a break, so we're going to take one. We'll come back. Jump into some news, see if anything else has been floating around on y'all's channels, and we will go from there. So don't go anywhere. More drop frames coming up right after this. We'll see you guys then.